Good morning, good morning, good morning. Give me one moment to make sure we are live because y'all know Facebook continues to play with my emotions. So let me just check. And while I am checking, how about we go ahead and get this started? Hey, everyone. This is your girl, Theresa. I am ready for this amazing episode that we have today. So, as usual, I am checking Facebook to see that we are actually live. And so, if you are here, if you are viewing and you can see us and hear us, go ahead and comment, give me some hearts to let me know. And in the meantime, let me tell you guys about what's going on today. So today we have a phenomenal episode, and matter of fact, I think it is the last episode of this year. So you want to make sure that you're on it. Let me tell you guys what we are doing. So for the people who have been watching, y'all know that the last few episodes we have been working on getting everything together for the new year. And I know that, 2020 has been just beyond words can say, right? But we are trying to move on with our optimism. We are trying to push forward and prep for the new year. And that means we are working. And so we started off this segment of prepping for the new year's with talking about our vision, how your vision can be set for New Year's, how you can prepare, how you can do everything you need to do when it comes to your vision. Because, the Lord said, write the vision and make it plain. And if you don't have that vision first, you're not going to move nowhere, right? So then we started focusing on our intake. What are we putting in our body? So we talked about nutrition a little bit. Glenda Jones talked about our how to eat healthy, how to switch our eating, how to just transition little things to eat better for the New Year's and beyond, like not just for New Year's. And Tara Pickens had talked to us about the vision. And today, okay, we got our vision right? We got our food right, and now we're trying to get that body right and tight so that we can be out here in these outfits, because y'all know y'all have a whole closet full of outfits. And if you are like me, you absolutely cannot fit anything in the closet, and that's just how it is for me. So let me go ahead and share. If you are here, share. Let me make sure I can hear myself. Oh, I can hear myself. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my episode. I'm going to give you 30-second countdown as always. Okay, so I think it shared, and y'all know how Facebook is. Let me make sure it actually shared, because some people will be like, oh, I didn't see it. So I want to make sure it's shared. Okay, I see it. So we in there. All right, so again, we talked so much about getting everything together. And so today, I can't have us talk about our vision. I can't have us talk about our nutrition without talking about getting our bodies right. And then next episode, we will be talking about getting our finances right. So today, I had to bring one of the best personal trainers that I personally know. When y'all know, right now I live in Alabama, but I used to live in North Carolina, definitely from North Carolina. And I met this young man. His name is Joshua Garrett. I met him originally from my church, New Jerusalem Cathedral in Greensboro, North Carolina. And he was an armor bearer, and he is definitely one of those personal trainers that's gonna make you work. I absolutely did not like it, because he will push and make sure that you are giving your best. But that was more difficult for me. And but he put up with my attitude, right? He is so much more than a personal trainer. This is like my brother. We have been through so much together. I've seen him go from just a vision of personal training and helping to having his own gym. And if you are a business owner, you know that having your own brick and mortar is difficult to come by and it's difficult to keep. And this young man has not only have his own gym, but he hasn't and has survived through COVID by the grace of God. So I had to have him on this episode so that he can talk to us about getting our physical fitness right for the New Year's and beyond. We're not just trying to look nice for the first couple of months of January or January, February, March, because that's usually how I go, right? We're not trying to just look good for the first, but we're trying to go beyond, make this a permanent fixture in our lives. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Joshua Garrett. Good morning. I know I need to get me some little some music so I can go ahead and bring people in with the little noise and all that stuff. But thank you for joining us. Josh, before we start, I want to make sure that people know who you are and where you're based out of, because I did tell them North Carolina, but tell us a little bit about you. Give us a brief synopsis of Joshua Garrett and JMG Elite Fitness.
So I'm based out of Greensboro, North Carolina, for all you Alabamians that are watching. But I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. That's where I opened my gym up as well. So one day, eventually, I will be in different areas across the country and and beyond. But today, I just have one location, Greensboro, North Carolina, 27405.
Not just, but you have one location, yes. So, because you're going to be international. But for even the people who are in Alabama like me, you have virtual training sessions. And if you are in North Carolina, we know that we have seen Josh on the news with his training and how he has been helping people of all ages, which is a phenomenal thing for him to be able to help children from children's ages to the elderly, the seniors, our wisdom-minded people. That is a big deal to help people with such a broad spectrum. Like children have their own set of energies that they need, and then our seniors have a different need. Tell us a little bit how you ended up getting to that point where you pretty much help everybody.
Well, to be honest with you, I started off training a lot of people in college. So when I was in college and I had aspirations of basketball and different things like that, people saw me training, and so I ended up training them. And so when I got out of college, and then a lot of people was like, "Well, since you do basketball, can you train my kids?" And so I started training kids and teenagers. And so one day, this young lady was like, "Yo, I think you have the personality to teach senior citizens." And I was like, "Whoa, I don't know about that. I don't know about that." But so I applied to the city of Greensboro and ended up becoming one of the trainers for their Ahoy program, which is adding health to our years, which is a senior program, 55 and older. And I can tell you, it was an adjustment. It was an adjustment because the way I train, I go hard, I go fast, and stuff like that. But then when you hit that certain age range, they like, "Hold on, young man, do you know how old we are?" And then on top of that, I was playing my hip hop rap music, and they taught me real quick, "Don't bring that over here. Don't bring that over here." So you had to learn, and so you notice that for the college students or younger ages, probably between like 20 to 25, 27, they have their own world. Then you have teenagers, they have their own world. And then you have the senior citizens that have their own world. So you just have to adapt and learn and study each one.
So I'm glad that you said that, because not only with this are we going to be talking about personal training, but because we get the opportunity to talk to you about being a Black business owner at this time period. And so I'm glad that you even mentioned that you had to learn to adjust. A lot of times as business owners, we think our way is the only way. And if people don't come to our way, then whatever. But I love that you mentioned adjusting how you were handling things to meet the needs of your different markets. That was definitely a tool for us to take back that, yo, if you got different types of markets, you got to adjust. How did you go about like transitioning? Because I know it was a mindset thing. Like, did it hurt your pride? Like, did you have to go through those like, emotional things? Because I know as a business owner, sometimes it'd be like, okay, this ain't working, so I'm feeling the type of way. Like, how did you handle that transition?
You talk about with the singers?
Yeah, like when they was like, sir, I'm gonna need you to get together. Because I know, like, I know you personally. So I know that you took it with like a good heart. You could have been like highly offended, like, well, y'all gonna have to come to my level. But
Yeah.
how did your mindset shift into like, okay, let me hear what they're saying. What are the things I need to do? Like, did you take a moment to talk to them to see what there were, like, what changes you needed to do? Did you go back and do research? Like, how did you shift that?
Well, soon as I mean, and when I say that that first time I did a class for the singers, it was so my first class was at Senior Smith Center here in Greensboro. And so their classes are like 40, 50, 60 plus people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, I lied to you. I lied to you. My first class was somewhere else. Yeah, it was, my first class was at a predominantly white center.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I came in there playing like Lecrae, which is hip hop, I had some rap music and stuff like that, and they looked at me crazy. And so the first thing that I had to do was since I'm here, I just got to go along with the class. I don't have anything else prepared. They just gonna have to listen, and I'm sorry at the end. So when they came up to me and they was not, they ain't hold nothing back. You know, one lady was like, no, you need to change that music. And so initially, the way she said it, I was offended because she said it in like a way where my mind went somewhere else. You know, but because it was a predominantly white and I'm a black instructor.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the end of the day, I had to realize that this is not only a culture, but this is also something you got to understand. This is something that they're not used to, and so I could go against the grain. But if I want to have a greater learning effect for myself and also have a greater influence on them, I have to take a step back and give them what they want. And then once I learn what they want, give them what they want, and then over time, then I can start implementing more things that are my personality. And so that's that. And so, but yeah, it was a learning. We all had to learn. The students had to learn. I as the instructor had to learn. And then, but once I gave them what they wanted, and they opened up their hearts, and then I can start implementing some other things that they may not be used to, but at this point now they're willing to learn because they know that I'm a good instructor.
That is an amazing lesson, like even transition over those cultural lines in the sand. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I'm listening to your story and thinking about like some of the things I was saying or some of the things that I even go through because as a lot of people know, I have my own business and I work. So having to keep those mindsets shifting and things, I'm like, okay, I like the way you said, I had to kind of go with the flow with them and then introduce my parts, like just
Right.
pieces of seeds every now and then. And I know, especially at times like this, we can be so easily offended by things, and very much so emotionally caught up in the way people perceive us or people handle us. And so being able to take a step back and think, okay, is this against my morals? Is this changing my business? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's so vital that you mentioned that because, as you were saying, it wasn't anything that was super big. They didn't ask you to change your name. They didn't ask you not to be you. They didn't ask you to go against your morals. They just asked you simply change this piece. And is it that big of a deal that now you have their trust? So they're more willing to listen to all these different types of things. And that even leads to them understanding our culture a little bit more. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. So talk to us about now we know that you said you got started in the personal training part, but how did you get started? Because I know you also offer nutrition, one-on-ones. What how did you get, I guess, into that more individual, customized coaching as opposed to just all these group classes and things like that?
Um, well, because like I said, I trained for basketball. I played all the sports that you could probably think of in high school. And so, but as I got older and as I was trying to go after different NBA opportunities, you tend to train by yourself a lot. You don't have like those dedicated people to come and train with you. So you tend to just be a loner at times. And so when people sought after me to train them, that one-on-one piece became and like really an integral part of who I was as a person and as a trainer. And so as a business, I started my business based off of just one-on-one training over time. I actually had to learn how to do group training versus a lot of other people learn how to do group training because it's more efficient and you can make more money in 1 hour versus one-on-one training. You have to expand your time over the course of the day. And so I went backwards in that regard, but that's what I'm familiar with. I'm an extreme people person, and so one-on-one training was a big part. That's how I started, and that's what I focus on the most. I do offer group classes and boot camps and different things like that, but I prefer one-on-one because you get to know the person, you learn and grow with the person, you build a family over time if that's your personality, and you're able to get more out of a person when they feel like and they know that I'm appreciated. They have my best interest. They have my back, and I will allow you to push me further and harder than I can go because I trust you. And so that's a real key part. If you don't trust me, then you're not going to trust the advice that I give you. And if you don't trust me, then eventually you won't allow me to train you. And so if you come to me, my whole objective is to make sure that you get the results that you want. In studying personal training, one of the things, like if you go by the books, one of the things is that you don't train anybody based off of what you want from them. You train everybody based off of what they need from you. And so if you come in and you say, Josh, I want weight loss, it's not my job to it's not my job to come in here. You come in here, I train you, and I want to do the things that I think that is best for you. You got to get more information. So once you come in and train, I listen to you. I want your goals. I want your needs. I want the things that you're accustomed to. I want the things that you're comfortable with, and then we do those things over time. Then we can start going to the things that I would like to do for you. It's that give and take thing. You sacrifice, I sacrifice, and then once we get to a good point in our relationship, then we can start venturing off into things that you wasn't comfortable with. But now you're willing to do. Now you're willing to do because we have that camaraderie. And so I think that's great. It's best for us to build a relationship, even though you're paying me. I think it's still best to build a relationship because we can go far if we build that relationship.
I feel like you over here preaching about business because you're like, yes, building a relationship. You got to build that relationship to build the trust. But so let me ask you, when you first started doing this, I know you said that it was like by happening, people was saying, "Hey, can you train me here? Can you train me there?" So did you think of it as like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this a business one day," or was it more like, "Hey, I'm hustling. This how I'm getting money"?
Well, initially, I've always been, like I said, I've always played sports and I've always been a health guy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but when I went to school, I was supposed to go to school for physical therapy, and and then now that I'm in the business of personal training, physical therapy isn't that far away from personal training.
Right.
And so, but I never looked at it as a business. It was until I dropped out of college. I dropped out of college, and now I'm just working in the workforce. And so then all of a sudden, man, I just kind of heard, well, not kind of, I just heard guys say, you start your personal training business. I'm like, I'm good. I'm not doing that. I got a good job. I don't have to ask my mom for no money now. I can put money aside. I can take a vacation if I wanted to. I'm good. And I promise you, 2 or 3 weeks later, I hear the same voice: start your personal training business. And I said the same thing. I'm good. I don't need it. I got a good job. I'm going through all this again in my head. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't need it. And then the second time I heard the voice, I said the same thing. Probably a week later, I lost a job. And I'm like, wow, okay. So now I have no choice. I try to go through unemployment. They deny me. Cool. So I'm left with nothing but start my personal training business. And it's been a journey ever since then. But I can honestly say that starting with no clients, trying to charge people $50. I thought if I charge low prices, then I can get all these people and then I can make life better. But then when I charged low prices, people didn't respect. I was like, it's only $50. They must not be worth anything. So that was the scary part. If I charge 50, I can get a lot of people. But then when I realized that I got nobody at $50, I was like, yo, do I go higher? If I go higher, I really know nobody not gonna get me now. And so it was a journey. It was a journey. I just needed one person. If I can get one person, they get results, then I can show people that what I teach people, how I train people, it can work. And so I finally got my one person. Then that one person told somebody else. That person told somebody else. But then I realized like $50 was way too low. You're not gonna make no profit. You're gonna do more work than what the money you're getting in. So you had to start changing stuff. And so over the course of years, I didn't change things immediately. I still train people at $50, um, but um, but eventually, once I got results, once I started helping people, I was like, all right, cool, we go to 85. So then I started getting people coming in at 85. And so once I started getting results, once I got more information, I started picking up books and reading some more. I started looking at websites, studying other trainers. And then I was like, cool, all right, we can't do 85 no more. We got to go to 120. So we went from 120, then we went to 160, then we went from 160 to 230, so 230 to 300, and so it just started going up, and I realized I was limiting myself because of fear, and
Mm-hmm.
and so once I got rid of that fear, and the only way I got rid of fear was I changed my work ethic. I think Michael Jordan said it best. Work ethic eliminates fear. And so once Michael Jordan said, I was like, you know what? I think that got something. So I started reading books. I started studying. I started researching, and the more knowledge that I had, I realized that the fear was leaving. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't doubting if I was a good trainer. I wasn't doubting if I can get people results. It started happening, and so I was like, cool. So that's kind of how it started, and that's my little journey, a brief, short journey of how everything happened.
So I feel like I went through the same thing with my business when you said charging low. And it's funny because every business owner that I have met have gone through that same thing of, okay, if we charge a low number, then people gonna wanna, we're gonna have a whole bunch of people. That is definitely not the case. And it doesn't matter how many other business owners we talk to, we still end up doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. I did the same thing. I was charging only $50 for my consultations. And one of the slaps in my face, one of my clients was like, hey, can you look at I know I had two clients do it. Can you look at my work that I'm doing for another business coach program? And I know that business coach charged at least $300. But you want me to check your work for her program and help you through her program. And so I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so that was one of my things that helped me. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because we all go through that feeling like, oh, well, if we don't do this much or we do a little bit, then we can help everybody. But it's definitely worth charging your worth, especially as you're learning, as you're gaining more knowledge, you're making yourself more worthy and profitable. You got to come up on those prices, and the people that's really meant for it, they'll come up with you. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Tell me a little bit about I know you talked to us about how, like, the process that you go through to help people, like, figuring out what they actually need. But how do you, let me think of how to put it. How do you gain their success? Like, how do you measure their success, I guess? Because I know not everybody wants to lose pounds. Like, do they have like pictures? Like, are they doing before and afters? Are you having them write out things, or are they doing journals? Like, how are you measuring their success?
I personally do not like doing before and afters. That's my personal choice, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the only trainers that don't really post before and after photos because I think that's the way I train people. I just let them know that before and after photos, that's that body type or the person that you left from isn't that's not the main goal. You know, the main goal is like, yo, you seen your daughter or your son get married and have kids. Like you made it that far, or you breaking the generational curse of not having high blood pressure. You're not, you're the only one that not getting diabetes. Just different things like that. So I focus a lot on the inner more so than the outer. And so the way I gauge success is, of course, we have our weigh-ins. We try to make or try to help people lose 2 pounds a week if they're into the weight loss. But we also try to, if somebody's trying to get stronger, then of course we gauge. We try to have every week, try to have a strength day and do weight that you couldn't do the previous week. There's so many different things. Or today, like say, you know what, our fitness test today is do 50 squats without stopping. And the first week they only can do 20. The third week that they did it, they did all 50. And so they build in confidence, and now they're saying, "Oh shoot, I can do it." And so, but it had nothing to do with a picture. It had nothing to do with the scale. It had nothing to do with if the clothes fit or not. It's just those little mental little successes that each one of us have when we end up doing something that we didn't think that we can do. And so, I challenge people all the time to have goals that had nothing to do with your weight and goals that had nothing to do with the clothes or the appearance, but have goals that have everything to do with your ability to do something that you couldn't do before. And I think that if you continue to accomplish things that you couldn't do before, then everything else would come into play. The weight would drop. Your eating habits would change. You would have more energy. You would have better self-esteem. Your confidence will rise. So just continue to accomplish things that you couldn't do. Don't look at the scale. Don't look at the mirror, but accomplish things that 3 weeks ago you couldn't do it because it was too challenging. But 3 weeks later, you smashed it.
I like that you focus on quality of life, like the overall thing. That's amazing because in my own weight loss journey, that's the thing that kept me going was like, oh, well, before I couldn't do a whole pull up and now I can do 10 or 3, things like that. So I like that you do that. That's a big difference that we see because we always see those before and after pictures. And your before and after pictures, like, you're gonna get that anyways, because I mean we live in a society where everybody takes pictures all the time. So you see that anyways.
Yep.
But love that you're looking and focusing on the overall quality of life and breaking those curses, and not just a physical fitness thing. So talk to us about like how we as people can, like, what are some tips that you would say for us to, if like maybe this is our first time losing weight, because maybe this was our first time gaining weight through COVID. Like, what are some small things that maybe we can do to help us transition, not just for, like I said earlier, not just for, oh, we trying to look good for New Year, but like a whole lifestyle. Because you talking about overall health. How do we transition?
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, just like anybody would say, I think having a journal is like one of the most beneficial ways to get to where you're trying to go, because you get to look at where you've been and what you're doing. If I tell people when it comes to weight loss, I want you to write down everything you eat. And every time you get that pad and you're writing things down, you're seeing that, shoot, I ate chips today. why did I eat chips today? I need
Mm.
to stop eating chips today. But you don't have that conversation with you if you don't write it down, because it's just really you're just going through habits. The way a person eats is really just they're eating out of habit. They may not be hungry. They just eat because, you know what, I just got off work. And normally what I do is once I get off work, I go home, I turn on the TV, and I grab something to eat. And so that's a habit. And so our bodies build habits. So if I can get you to write things down, as they say, write it down, make it plain. But if I can get you to write things down, and you see your progress, you see your mishaps, you see your downfalls, you see everything. At least you get to see it, and then it's engraved in your mind as you read it. I wrote it, I read it, and then now I know it's in me. And then on top of that, I got to hold you accountable. One of the greatest things to have is accountability partner. Have somebody that you can trust that's going to push you and say, you know what, we got to do better. You need to do better. But then you got to respect that accountability partner. You got to be honest with them. So that's a major key. You can have an accountability partner, but if you're doing stuff that they don't know about because you're trying to hide it, then there's no point to having an accountability partner. You got to have somebody that you're willing to be open, transparent with, and so they can help you and push you. So all that good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think writing things down, um, writing a journal or having a journal. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get better. If I'm trying to get better at weight loss, then I have to write things down that I ate. I had to write down the things that I did today. I did 50 squats today. I did 20 push-ups today. So now, tomorrow you can see what you did today. Tomorrow I'm gonna do 50. I'm gonna do 30. 50 squats, 30 push-ups. And so over the course of a week, you can categorize or you can quantify how much you did. And then when
Mm.
it comes to your food, write everything down that you ate. And so you can keep a track. And even when you do that, the next time you go get a physical, next time you go talk. Am I back now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm like, I can't hear you. Okay, next time we go get a physical. What we're doing now?
Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. So keep a track of that. And so then you can, once you go to the doctor, you get checked out, and they ask you, what's some of the things you've been doing differently, and you can show them everything you've been doing, and they can now correct you, or they can guide you, or they can point you in the right direction. Having that journal, anything that you do, you even see bodybuilders when they go to the gym, they write everything that they did down, so the next day they come in, they can beat it. And
Mm.
so, and they have to see what they're doing. I mean, having a journal is one of the best things that you can do, and having an accountability partner. If you ever see anybody that's lifting weights, not 9 times out of 10, they're going to have a spotter, somebody that's going to make sure that they don't hurt themselves. And that's what accountability partner is. They spotting you through life. They spotting you through your goals. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, they're spotting you to make sure that you stay on track and that you don't hurt yourself. So I think those two things right there are beneficial to anybody's success.
So I was over here writing stuff down. It's funny because you're also confirming that like I'm on the right path with some things because I find myself when I go back to my doctor and she's like, "Oh, you've lost such and such. What are you doing different?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I've been doing," and I'm like showing her stuff in the phone. So and it's exciting to see those differences in the things that you're doing. Um, Now we know that we're all dealing with COVID, right? So, how have you, as a business owner, how have you kind of adjusted with COVID? I know I've seen some of your adjustments a lot more because we see your face everywhere now. But how have you adjusted with COVID?
Now, I apologize. I guess my phone, somebody called through. All I hear is like a little robot. There it goes. It's better now. It's better now. I can hear
Okay.
you.
So I
Okay.
was saying, how have you adjusted with COVID? Because we, as a business owner, COVID kind of hit us all. So how did you adjust?
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Now, it was difficult. I ain't gonna lie, it was scary. And I tell anybody, as an entrepreneur, as somebody that you're a full-time entrepreneur, um, every day is a new day. Every day is a new day, unless your business is just extremely successful, and you have money in the bank that could cover you for 3, 4, 5 months. But if that's not the case, then every day you're trying to figure out how to make it to the next day. and the next day. And then when you have COVID that hits, you never know what's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to be a shutdown. You don't know if some of the clients that you have are going to catch COVID. It's really just always, I'm not going to say you in constant fear, but what I'm saying, you're always worrying about what the atmosphere is going to be, or what's the next decision going to, how the next decision going to affect my business. And, and so every time Roy Cooper, which is our governor here, every time he gets on, we kind of looking like, is he about to shut everything down? Because when they shut everything down the first time, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't stopped. I ain't stopped at all. I kept training. And if you was willing to allow me to train you, I trained you, because this is my livelihood. And then, they shut things down and they don't want to give stimulus checks. Then you leave me to man up for myself. And I'm gonna train regardless. I'm gonna have my mask on. You have your mask on. I sanitize everything every day. So I'm gonna take every precaution. But during this pandemic, I even birthed something different. So now I go live Monday through Saturday, and just giving people that are at home exercises, and for a whole hour. I've seen a lot of trainers start off doing classes every day. But then over the course of time, they started to wane off, or they started to disappear. But I can say that I've been one of the ones that are consistent, Monday through Saturday, 9:15 to 10:15 for a whole hour, just doing the classes for people. And so that's how I stay in the eyesight and in the minds of people. So everybody that know me know that Josh is a personal trainer. He's a health guy. And I tell anybody, the one thing that you want to do is never leave anybody's mind. Always let them know that this is what you do. If I sell coffee, y'all better believe that every day I'm gonna be in your face selling some coffee. So the next time they want coffee, they're right there. And so every day somebody's gonna see me doing something fitness related. So anytime somebody say I need a trainer, they come over my way. And so now we start offering virtual training. Now we do nutritional coaching. Now we still do one-on-ones. We do boot camps outside. Whatever we got to do, we got to make it. Because when God gave me this opportunity, I'm not going to go down without a fight. If God said I can do this, then he also gave me the abilities. He gave me the skill set. He gave me the mindset, the creativity. So if I failed, it wasn't because he didn't give me the opportunity. It was because I wasn't able to use every skill set I did. He gave me to the ability that I could. And so, and I'm not going to fail, and I'm not going to let this business go down, regardless of COVID or not, because there's too many ideas out there for you to just let things go away. Nah, you got to fight for that. You got to say, you know what? Bump fear. If I look stupid doing this, I look stupid doing this. But God is going to bless me because my faith is high. He's going to give me everything I need, the resources that I need, and you just going to keep pushing. And so, so during COVID, whatever ideas he gave me, you implement them. Whatever he said do, you go and do it. And stop being afraid of everything. Stop being afraid of people's opinions. Stop being afraid of what people say. During this whole COVID season, people called the cops on me about 3 or 4 times. The cops came to the gym, and I know I'm online, whatever, but cops came to the gym. Hey, yo, run in the bathroom right quick. Hey, yo, run in the bathroom right quick. And the cops come to the door. Yes, we heard that you was training. Now I'm just here by myself. And you fight for it. You fight for it. If you get caught, you get fined. You get fined. But I'm not gonna go down without fighting. And so that's some of the things you have to do. That's some of the things you have to, have to ask yourself. Am I willing to do whatever to make it successful? And that answer has to be yes. Somebody said before, like, yo, you can't have a plan B. You make plan A work regardless. And I know that's a controversial statement, because a lot of people say you got to have a plan B. But I'm more so in the mindset that if God gave me plan A, what am I planning for plan B? I'm gonna make A work. And so that's my 2 cents on that thing.
That's the thing. God has really showed, and I tell people this all the time. I'm not saying that, the people that died from COVID and they got sick from COVID, anything about that, I still pray for them. But I prayed for COVID. I remember last year, like, God, I need something. Like, there's no way that I can handle all of this, like working for the government and doing it. There's just no way. And so I remember, like, God, I don't know how you're going to do it, but I need you a way to stop time so I can get my planning together. Like, I need you to fix it. And so when COVID happened, at first I was dwelling on like where everybody else, oh gosh, everybody dying. And so the Lord literally was like, okay, you asked for this opportunity. I need you to move. And I literally, kind of like you, I launched Fire Fear, my class, through COVID. And it was so becoming of the time, because I literally, like everybody else, to be like, fear is not real, fear is not real. I don't teach that. Fear is real, because when you feeling those emotions that come from fear, is real. That is your reality. So I literally taught people how to handle that fear and how to move beyond it. And they left class without that fear and with action steps. Like, they actually took action and had something outside of class. And so I like that you even mentioned that you have to move beyond that fear, because so many people are like, oh, fear is not real. Nah, bro, it is. Because when you feeling that emotion, that you can't tell me that emotion is not my reality. And it's funny that now you're gonna have to can't have people in the bathroom, because people gonna be watching like, he said they could be in the bathroom. But I love the fact that you were like, you got to fight for this though, because like you said, I didn't even think about it that way, about the plan A and the plan B. Well, if God gave me plan A, I have to have enough faith to move on plan A the way he gave it to me. And there is no plan B, because he ain't say there's a plan B. He said, this is it. Just trust me and keep it moving. And sometimes that may mean that plan A, you don't do a certain part, but there's always a connection. God knows what he knows, and we just got to keep the faith. Kind of like I said a little while ago, we need to have faith in God the way we trust these chairs are going to be there when we sit down. Because when you sit down, you're not second guessing the chair. So let's not second guess God.
That's real. And speaking of faith, man, I was watching Selena. They have a series on Netflix, right? And so the first three episodes, all you see is her dad was like, "No, we gonna sing. We gonna sing at these hotels. We gonna sing at the old folks' homes. I know I shouldn't say old folks' homes, but we gonna sing wherever. We can sing on birthday parties." And so one guy came up to him and was like, "Hey, yo, my daughter's getting married." He was like, "Yo, you got a band?" He was like, "Yeah, we already got a band." Like, don't use them, use us. He was like, "Yo, but you got your lights?" He was like, "Yeah, we got lights." He was like, "You got sound?" "Yeah, we got sound." He ain't have nothing. And so what they ended up doing was they bought a whole bunch of cans of peaches. They opened the cans up, they drilled holes in there, they put lights in there, they hung them up, and they made it look like they was a professional band. Wow. That was plan A. There's no plan B. And because his brother, and I know I talk about a whole movie, but it meant a lot to me, because his brother was like, "Yo, you singing, like your family need money, and you still trying to get your family to do a band." He was like, "Yo, because I see it happening. I see their success. They're going to be great." He was like, "But you need to work." "No, I need to make sure that my family is singing in the band because they're going to be great." And she ended up becoming one of the greatest music artists of all time. Man, her legacy still lives on. And so, but that was plan A. There was no plan B in his head. I gotta make plan A. I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my spirit. If I have to use canned peaches because I can't afford to buy real lights, that's what I'm gonna do. And if you watch that show, if you watch the first three episodes, you will see that he made his band and Selena adapt to everything. They went from singing slow music. When nobody liked that, they switched it and started singing Michael Jackson stuff. When people didn't like it, they switched and went to Mexican music. They just kept adapting until they found their success. But there was always a plan.
That's good. That's good. Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch the show. So, um, what was I? I've got to switch because we'll be here all day talking about the Lord and faith and pushing your business.
That's
But
true.
kind of, I mean, I guess kind of the same way it is. It's a mindset thing when it comes to business and when it comes to weight loss. And so one thing that I had to realize in my journey of losing weight, because last year I lost 50 pounds just doing CrossFit, which I absolutely love. And so then I COVID, I gained all 50 pounds back. So now I'm back to the losing weight part. But one thing that I remember that shifted my whole mindset about myself and this whole weight loss journey, I read in something, it said you have to change your identity. And then after I read it, I seen a sermon, so it was just like, and I had a dream. So God was like, "Okay, 3 times. Let me tell you, change your identity." And I was like, "Lord, what do you mean?" I identified as this fat person, right? But then being able to change my identity to I am an athlete, or I am fit, or I am in shape. That changed everything. Whether I seen it physically or not, I had to start here. And I think that's something that a lot of people kind of skip that step. Like, I have to identify as a business owner. I have to identify as a physically fit person, as a healthy person, as a wealthy person. Like, changing your identity starts with your mind, whether you see it or not. Like, I identify with my bank account being big. Like, come on now. So I think that that's one tip that we can use for like this whole shift with 2021. Some people are already like with that negative mindset. Don't come over here with that. I don't have time for that. Like, I'm not getting COVID. I don't know what you're talking about. You may get COVID. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not getting COVID because I got stuff to do. And so I think that's a good tip for shifting your mind to lose weight. What do you think is like another thing? Like, because I know you said, and I like that you said it, you are actively on every day, like making sure Monday through Saturday, you are on every single day. Um, how do we have like what do you tell yourself to make sure, because I know discipline is part of that, but how do you tell yourself to make sure that you are active every single day, because that can also help with weight loss part.
Yeah, you know, and the way I look at it is, every day you're not doing something, you're actually taking a few steps back. And so fear. So once again, fear is we use fear a lot of the times to hinder us, but then we also can use fear to motivate us. And so when it comes to me being on every day or being as consistent that I am, the last thing that I want to do is disappoint anybody. There's because once you finally put yourself out there, and I tell anybody when it comes to weight loss and stuff like that, put yourself out there. Tell people like, yo, I'm on a weight loss journey. Tell people I'm trying to change my life for the better. Tell people, because people are going to be real critics. Like they're going to be critics. They're not going to believe you at first. You tell somebody, I don't want to eat out no more. I can't eat out no more. One, I'm trying to change my life, and two, I'm trying to save this money. And so people are going to test to see if you legit about it. They ask you, hey yo, hey, watch this. Hey yo, Josh, you trying to go out to eat? And Goodwill, you just told them not to, but because they trying to test you. People are not going to believe you at first. I think that's just automatic. Nobody's going to believe you at first. You have to live a life so disciplined that you change their perception of who you are. And even when you change their perceptions, they're going to still think like, oh, look, he think he better than everybody now. He lost a few pounds. That's just how people's nature is, and that's never going to change. And so, but if you want to change your life, you have to change everything around you, your whole lifestyle. When you walk into the house, you can't keep looking at those snacks. Get rid of those snacks. When you're out to eat, if you do go out to eat, you can't have people around you that's going to eat whatever they want, because that temptation is there. Now, you could be extremely disciplined. Once you get to that point where that doesn't phase you no more, cool, then do your thing. But when you're in that challenging stage and there's still things that's pulling after you, then yeah, then you just have to say, you know what, I can't be around that stuff. But a lot of us, and I tell people, a lot of us, we think if we keep certain people around, certain things around, I may not touch it, but I don't want to change my life completely because I like having these people around. And I don't want to push myself away from them because I'm trying to change. So I'm gonna keep them around a little bit. And we tend to, once we get tired or once we have a bad day at work, and then we try to lean back on the ice creams and the sweet stuff like that. Or when we having a real bad day, we call on those people that we know we don't need to be around, just to feel better about ourselves. And so discipline is a key, but put yourself out there. And once you put yourself out there, people know who you are. If they really, really are in your corner, once again, they will end up being accountability partners just because you put yourself out there. But you have to change your atmosphere. You got to change your atmosphere. Especially if you want to change your life, change your atmosphere first. You'll change your life. I think that's really just a simple thing.
Mm-hmm.
Go in that kitchen, get rid of everything, get rid of the sodas, the sweets, the different your comfort foods, and start putting other stuff in there that's going to encourage your eating. Some more fruits, some more vegetables, things you have to cook. Oftentimes, I tell my clients we're going to go on a if you don't cook it, you don't eat it type thing. And so
Mm-hmm.
that gets you away from the processed foods. That gets you away from the manufactured foods. That gets you away from pop it in the microwave stuff.
Yeah.
So if you don't cook it, you don't eat it. And I think that's simple. I'm not telling you can't eat. If you know how to make ice cream naturally, go ahead and eat ice cream. If you can make it, go ahead and eat it. But I'm trying to get you to the point where you're relying on yourself to put something in your body versus having some processed food that's in a freezer. You pop it in the microwave. Now you're relying on whatever they put in the foods. And so that's the first step that I try to get people to do. If you don't cook it, you don't eat it.
That's good. That's good. Well, I want to go ahead and start wrapping up because like I said, we'll be here all day talking about stuff.
Yeah.
But Josh, before we leave, I want to make sure that they get information on how to get in touch with you because I know that you, like we said earlier, you do the virtual training sessions, one-on-one personal training, nutrition training, and so much more. The group classes, you are online every single day, 9:15 to 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. Yes. And you already is talking about accountability. I know that even watching your business grow, you've had a lot of accountability partners, and people help you. So creating that environment of help. Um, but how do people get in touch with you?
Well, you can always catch me on my Facebook page, JMG Elite. That's JMG Elite. And I promise you, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a 2000s thing. But when I tell people elite, they say, how you spell elite? Wow. Wow. But okay, so I spell it out anyway, ELITE. So yeah, you can find me on my Facebook page, JMG Elite. You can find me on Instagram as well at JMG Elite as well. If you have a browser, web, a phone, a tablet, whatever, you can always go to my website, which is still currently being updated. But that's elitejmg.com. Elitejmg.com. And so you can find me at one of those three pages, Facebook at JMG Elite, Instagram JMG Elite, and then my website elitejmg.com.
All right, so I did put two of them here down below. So make sure you click, and of course, we'll put it in the comments as well. And before we go, we already heard some tips. Y'all, we ain't got no excuse out here. He out here telling us what we need to do. Cooking more, doing more accountability environments. And I mean, you should be able to fix your environment as much as you can. I mean, we're in COVID, so I can't do nothing about people that live with you, but get your own little space or something. But yeah, like y'all, we got to get it together because, like he said, it's about our overall health. It's about the generational curses, breaking them and moving beyond where we were before. So let's figure this thing out and get it together. So if you have any questions for Josh, you can contact him here. He is offering free consultations, and not just for people in North Carolina, because he does do virtual. This is for everybody, and he gonna make you work. I'm just gonna tell you. I tried one of the little videos, and I was like, "Oh, this gonna be easy with Josh." Oh no, absolutely not. You're gonna be sweating. So make sure you contact Josh before we leave. Is there any one last word that you would like to tell the people before they start contacting you?
Uh, I think that one of the most important things to tell anybody when they want to change their life for the better, you got to have your why. You got to have your why. Um, and just like Larissa said, you have to see yourself. You have to see yourself differently. Oftentimes, when I encourage people, I ask them, "Do you have kids?" Um, and if you have kids, you want to be around here as long as you can to impart everything in them. You know, if you want to see them get married one day, I want you to walk down the aisle with them. I want you to be able to, whenever they need you, they can call on you. And also, man, you don't know who is watching you. You don't know who you can motivate. When you decide to change your life for the better, I can guarantee that there's one person that's going to say, you know what, I need to do this. So that's where my logo or my motto came from. The world is your gym, because oftentimes when I go jogging with some of my clients, you have people blowing the horns, you have people smiling, you have people saying, "Yo, good job." You have so many different people encouraging you, but in all actuality, you working and you putting in that work, you're encouraging other people. So, ladies and gentlemen, do it for you. But also know that when you do it for yourself, you're encouraging so many other people to start changing their lives for the better. So you're actually doing great work in the community. You don't even realize it.
Well, thank you for that. So, guys, we're gonna contact Josh at the the internet or the Facebook right there, Facebook below. And thank you again, Josh, for coming on the show. Maybe we'll do a fitness or something video, not right now, but later, maybe in the future, so that people can see how it is to work with Josh. But remember, he is offering a free consultation. And guys, we're going to let you guys go. And before we go, remember, you choose how your day will be. So choose to make it phenomenal. I will see you guys later next. Oh, this is the last one for this year. So the next time I see you guys, it will be January 1st, and we will have our first episode. I cannot wait to tell y'all about this episode. I'm gonna tell y'all later. I'm gonna tell you now, but it's about to be
Tell
lit.
us now.
It's got some stuff. 2021, I'm telling you, we bring us some stuff. But the first episode, actually, I can't tell you about the first episode. First episode again, we're gonna be talking about finances. So we talked about vision, we talked about food, we talked about fitness, and we're talking about finances because we need to get our money right? So I'll talk to you guys later. Join me January 1st with Crystal McLean with our finances. Goodbye.